And good morning. I'm your friend Scotty Ray, and welcome to Scotty Ray's Weather. It is Tuesday, July the 21st. A lot going on in the nation. We'll go over a few of the top headlines, let you know what's going on in and about, and tell you about this hot forecast that's in store for us this morning. It's coming. I did see where the supervisors in Lauderdale County have voted, and I want to say also in Neshoba County to leave the Confederate monuments where they are. In Lauderdale County, there's going to be a new courthouse being built. It will not be moved. It will stay at the present location. That's what's in the works with that. I do hope your day is going well. You've had a cup of coffee and you feel better about yourself and you're ready to face the world. Well, the National Weather Service, as we look at this at our heat index today, tells us the heat stress is going to be mighty warm. 105 is what we're predicting, and taking in part of northern Clark County and also Jasper County, all of Newton, Lauderdale, Kemper, Neshoba on up into Winston, all the way to Columbus, and again back over west toward Vicksburg. So a hot day for the northern part of the state as we begin it. So it's going to be hot. Keep that in mind. Now, as we turn to go to radar this morning and see what it has to offer, absolutely no rain whatsoever. Our forecast being brought to you by EMEPA, your Touchstone Energy Cooperative. We see no rain whatsoever in the immediate area. We start to our southwest to the Meridian Jackson area. We see showers, Houston, Beaumont, Lake Charles, down to even not too far from New Orleans this morning. We do have some, again, up here on the East Coast there, these heat indices are really bad up through Virginia and those areas. Also, rain sitting out around Kansas City this morning. So that's an overview of what we got. More on the local side, expect a 30% chance of showers. Then we had a little bit of that happen late yesterday afternoon, pop up in and out, those thunderstorm showers. That did happen. Today, expected after 3 p.m., the heat index will hit between 103 to 105. That's where we get that yellow, the 1 indication for our area, high of 94. You'll get used to the term 30% for the next few days because we have it for tonight. By tomorrow, the same with a heat index of 100, 30% Wednesday night. By Thursday, it decreases a little bit down to a 20% chance, still running those mid-90s for a high. And by Friday, we're back to a 40% chance of rain in the afternoon. And yet again, a high 94, 95, so somewhere in the middle there is what we're expecting when it comes to weather. So extremely hot. I urge you again to do those things early in the day that you have to do outside because it gets quite unbearable. That 1, 2 o'clock in the afternoon is rough. I know sometimes you don't have a choice. You got to do what you got to do, but depending on what you do for a living, if you're used to it every day, it's not that bad. But if you're an AC type person, it'll hit home on you quick, won't it? It will. Well, as we turn to news stories this morning of what's going on in the nation, this is a story that was broke yesterday about the federal judge, her son being shot and then her husband being wounded, and they suspected that it could possibly have something to do with the Jeffrey Epstein case. Nothing is being really said. Suspicious about it was another attorney that supposedly had a case before her and was going to take it out on her husband. And, well, he committed suicide. Supposedly he had terminally ill cancer. He, after he done this, went, his name is Roy Den Hollander, and committed suicide. Kind of reminds you of another case years ago, doesn't it? JFK. People have a tendency to disappear on these type cases. There's more to come out of it. We don't know it all yet. This is just the early beginnings of what went on, but sad thing for a judge to lose her 20-year-old son. Her husband has been shot as well. As we move to the next story, now, this lady, does she have a right to be scared? Absolutely. Remember, Jeffrey ended up dead quickly. She fears that she will be murdered in prison. So we'll watch what it has, Miss Maxwell. As we move to the next story, corruption scandals. And keep in mind, scandals and corruption is everywhere in this nation. There's so many deals that go on in the back doors that you and I will never know about. The Illinois House Speaker and State Democratic Party Chairman Michael Magnin is facing calls for his resignation over a scheme for a utility company. The company has agreed to pay a $200 million fine, and what was going on was people in the government would get jobs for certain people. They would be appointed in return for favors for the power company in rulings and things of favors from the state. Do you think that happens everywhere? Absolutely, it does. And that's just a small scale of what goes on. What will happen, we'll watch. It could just fade away. But that is what the scandal is. Will he resign? Probably not. He knows people in high places as well. As this is one of the saddest things that has gone on Florida, the fishing trip that turned wrong. 3 friends go fishing and they're all murdered. One crawls to his cell phone before he dies, calls his dad. His dad comes out, finds his son's 2 friends already dead. His son dies in his arms. They really don't know yet. They're not telling all that they know. They're trying to track it down. Merely a case of being at the wrong place at the wrong time, possibly. I don't know. It was a very secluded area. The boy's father has been hospitalized for shock, and I think everyone can understand why. That would be awful. The sheriff's departments all say that this is one of the worst scenes that they have ever stumbled up onto. So it was some hatred going on there. Maybe more to come of this soon. They're investigating. Kanye West says his wife wants to lock him up. And I looked at this last night on Twitter. It went on and on. It would jump from one subject to another and make hardly any sense. He accused his wife of wanting to abort one of their children. It was just, he'd talk about this, talk about that. He's still saying he wants to run for president. Last week there was a word that said that he was bowing out. Not yet, but it's real weird. If you get a chance to look at Twitter, here's an account. He has 29 million followers. That's a lot of people, but it does seem that he's got some major issues there. Kanye West. And it was on this date back in 1999, who remembers this, of when they found the body of JFK Jr., his wife, and his sister-in-law, where the small plane they were traveling in crashed. Horrible. No one expected that. I think everyone at some point expected him to run for president to follow his dad's footsteps, and it didn't quite happen. A sad day in history as one of the leading men went down. That was JFK Jr.
During these challenging times, there are some things that you can count on every day. One of them is that Rick Justice Automotive will work hard to help you find just the right vehicle. Rick Justice has late model, low mileage vehicles and 72-month, 72,000-mile warranties available on all vehicles. Come see us today, and we'll show you how we've been helping your friends and relatives find the car, truck, or SUV that was right for them. We will earn your business.
You know, one of the biggest arguments that I hear public and I see back and forth on Facebook a lot is, should you wear a face mask or not? I don't have the answer, but I don't think it can hurt. I've heard that the cloth ones are not as good, but something is better than nothing as we all face this COVID, which is horrible. The numbers just, I don't know that even the scientists know what to do at this point. And it's not going to get better until a vaccine is developed and everybody can take that to fight this thing off like these other pandemics that we've had in history. So many people have lost their lives, and it's awful. As we look at the numbers from Mississippi at this point, 1,251 cases yesterday. A lot less deaths happened yesterday. We're down to 3 deaths yesterday. Jackson, Monroe, and Madison County. 140 outbreaks in long-term care facilities happened. So this thing is clearly not over yet. As we watch what goes on with it, it's a sad state with everything that's going on with it. Business needs to open up. People continue to have parties where they probably shouldn't. They have protests where they get really close. And then Middle America still sits back and waits to go to church of trying to fight this off. We do hope a cure is found soon. Well, as we turn back to take a look back at our weather here of our extended forecast, as we said, those 30% chances are going to ramp up all the way through Friday. As we get to the weekend, they start getting higher, 40% Saturday and 50% on Sunday and Monday as we head back to work. So rain chances will increase. If you've got something to do over the weekend, probably Saturday is your better day to do that. Again, let me remind you of just how hot it's going to be today. Heat index is going to be between 103, 105 before it's all said and done, with a high reaching 94. 30% chance of showers after 3 p.m. So mark that in your calendar of what you're doing so that you'll kind of understand that. and be prepared if you're working on something on the outside. Again, let me thank our sponsors that help us out every day. As you've seen their graphics pop up on the screen. Hooper's on 22nd Avenue, Rick Justice Automotive, along with Piggly Wiggly of Collinsville, Patrick Allen Overhead Doors, EMEPA, your Touchstone Energy Cooperative, Graphics Guru there on B Street, SMI Automotive, and San Marcos Mexican Restaurant, always here to help us out. And of course, local. Buy local when you can and help those out. Again, thank you for watching Scotty Ray's Weather. If you wouldn't mind, share, like, and invite your friends to be a part of it.